Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an At the Buzzer Sports mock draft. I usually drop these on Monday. Today's Tuesday. What are you going to do? There's a lot of interesting prospects in this draft class, so I'm interested to simulate this lottery and see where we can go. I promise you, I'm not going to simulate it twice. So if I don't like the order, I'm going to simulate it twice. I'm not going to lie. But let's see. The Wizards fall all the way to 6. Yeah, I don't love this order, so let's simulate it again. Don't love that order. We got the Spurs at 14, Charlotte at 13. The Jazz fall to 7 this time. You know what? I'll take this. I'll take this. We're going to use this in the mock draft. We got the full first round. We got the no ceilings draft board. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. With the very first pick, I'm still here. I know it feels like the world is turning their back on Darren Peterson. I'm still here with the on-ball creation, the jump shooting, the off-ball play, the defensive potential. I think Darren Peterson is clearly hurt. I truly think he's clearly hurt. The first step isn't the same. The elevation on his jump shot isn't the same. I want you guys to look at the breakdown I did on Darren Peterson the night before, or not the night before, the season before college and high school, his senior year in high school, and I want you to watch a Darren Peterson game. The athleticism has clearly taken a toll, and I think right now he's just hurt. And with him being hurt, he's still been the consensus number one prospect until like recently. So I think Darren Peterson would be a fantastic fit in Indiana, playing next to Tyrese Halliburton and playing with a guy like Pascal Siakam in that fast pace and a pace that moves the ball, or in a situation that moves the ball as much as it does. He's really good in transition. They could run action for him in the half court. He's a really good shot maker, even with like his struggles. Like, I want you guys to understand. Let me take a look. I want you guys to understand how, oh my God, my mic is falling. I want you guys to understand how much like college sample size can weigh in on a player. Like, so far, he's averaging 20 points per game. He's shooting 40% from three on 7 attempts. He's shooting 52% on twos on 7 attempts. He's been fantastic this year. If we take a look at the true shooting, on a 60% true shooting, like, he's been fantastic. Shooting 81% from the free throw line. I think Darren Peterson is still the best prospect in this draft class. I'm going to be completely honest, but I can understand if you have AJ at 1. I can understand if you have Cam Boozer at 1. I can understand these things, and I'm not going to be upset if that's who you went with. Speaking of that, I actually have AJ DeBonsta going number 2 to the Washington Wizards. And do I think this is what's going to happen? No. But I always do my mock drafts based on the fit and what I would do. I think AJ DeBonsta would be a better fit in Washington than Cam Boozer, because I don't think it's as simple as just, yeah, put Cam Boozer in a pick and roll with Trae Young. I think Cam Boozer's the ball handler and other players are the screeners. As for Washington, I think, and AJ DeBonsta, I've grown really high on AJ DeBonsta just because of, one, the physicality, two, the athleticism, the strides, the downhill ability, the improvements he's made as a passer and playmaker, the improvements he's made as a mid-range shooter. All of those things have been extremely phenomenal, to the point where I've considered him taking the number 1 spot as much as I've ever did throughout recent years. It's always been Darren. But over this last recent stretch, where, again, if we take a look at the stats, I think AJ DeBonsta over like his last 6 or 7 games has been giving you roughly like 27 points per game. Like, I just want to take a look at the game log real fast, and let's see. Let's just do this recent stretch right here. Let's just do this. I believe this is about 7 to 8 games. And over his last 8 games, he's giving you 29 points per game, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, shooting 42% from 3 and 57% inside the arc on 8 shots inside the arc, knowing how much he likes to go to that mid-range. I wish I had a synergy account. I'd be able to give you better stats, but those are the stats I'm going to give you. As for Chicago, I'm going to be taking Cam Boozer. It's written in the stars. He played in Chicago against Arkansas. I think that was back in November. Cam Boozer is another guy who's been fantastic this year, and to me, he's been the most consistent out of the 3 guys, and I think he's been performing the best. As for me, I don't I don't think his athleticism is as good as a Darren or as an AJ DeBonsta. I do think his IQ and feel for the game is higher than an AJ or a Darren. I do think he has an extremely potent downhill ability and physicality. When you look at the strength and the IQ and the reads that he can make, the accuracy may not be there, but I do think as a ball handler, as somebody that can be used as a screener, as somebody that can make passes, skip passes, lay down passes, can find shooters, I think Cam Boozer can be used in a multitude of different schemes offensively. The defense isn't going to be fantastic. Like, I don't think he's going to be somebody that's going to be extremely versatile. I think you're probably just going to stick him on like slower wings or more physical wings. But I do think he has tremendous superstar upside. As for the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm actually going to take Caleb Wilson because I think he fits right with what Ja Morant and Zach Edey can do. I think as an offensive rebounder and just a rebounder in general, I think the Grizzlies could be setting up to have one of the best rebounding front courts in the league with Zach Edey and Caleb Wilson. Those are the two guys where I look at and say they're going to get rebounds. They can have a really good high-low game with him and Zach Edey. Caleb Wilson loves to play in the mid-range. He's gotten extremely better at that throughout the season. His touch is amazing. His play finishing is amazing. I think him and Ja in the pick and roll would be fantastic. I'm going to go Caleb Wilson here. Caleb Wilson's definitely the pick here for me. As for the Sacramento Kings, they're going to be taking Kingston Fleming, point guard who is really good off the dribble, has a really good first step, runs pick and roll extremely well, whether it's getting all the way downhill, whether it's making the right read, whether it's the pull-up mid-range shooting. I think he's really good, and I think he can operate within a well-schemed team defense. It's just Sacramento don't have that right now at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Kingston Fleming is going to fit within the Sacramento Kings system. I know they have a team that, in theory, is win now with DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and Russell Westbrook. Hopefully they can get off of some of those guys in the offseason and we can really see what these guys have for the future. But I'm going to be taking Kingston Flemings with my 5th pick in this very draft. Now, with all the guards that Brooklyn have, they're in a position where it's like the next 3 best players on the board are guards. And I think they're going to take them. I think they're going to take one. I'm going to go with Mikal Brown Jr., who in my opinion is still the 2nd best point guard in this class. He's been the best point guard in this class for me for a while. I slightly moved him down behind Kingston Fleming after his recent stretch of bad shooting. But recently, Mikal has really picked it up. And I'm not going to look at Mikal as some lights out shooter, but when he has the pick and roll volume and the ability to shoot off the dribble that he does and the immense first step and the positional size, I'm going to rock with Mikal Brown Jr. Like, I think he makes really good reads out of the pick and roll. I think he's phenomenal there as a scorer, as a downhill ability guy, as somebody that can make reads consistently. This recent game, he didn't even start, so I'm actually going to take that out. But throughout this 5-game stretch, he was giving you some really good games, whether it was against Baylor, Georgia Tech, North Carolina. Like, he has some really good games in there, and he's giving you 29 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 54% from 3 on 10 attempts, shooting 50% inside the arc. Like, I think you've seen what Mikal Brown can do if completely reaching his ceiling. Like, I think he's a volume shooter. I think he's somebody that plays really well out of the pick and roll. I also think he's a really good spot up shooter. I think he can fit right into what Brooklyn is trying to do, whether it's DHOs, whether it's on ball screens. Him and Jaeger on the perimeter would be extremely fun to watch as well. So I'm going to go Mikal Brown Jr. with the 6th pick to the Brooklyn Nets. As for the Utah Jazz, this is also something that's going to be extremely interesting because you have Keontae George, you have Ace Bailey, you have Jaren Jackson, you have Lauri Markkanen, you also have Walker Kessler. So why don't we add a guard? Why don't we add a guard to this mix? And I'm actually going to give, as a matter of fact, do I want to give them a guard or do I want to give them Jaden Quaintance? Jaden Quaintance, his injuries, like that's the only thing where it's like, if Jaden Quaintance was healthy, and he's been giving me like the production that I would have wanted to see from him. Like, for example, he's only played 4 games this year. Like, that is concerning. Like, I could see him falling out of the lottery. Like, and it's nothing to do with talent. Like, if it was me, I'd have him as a top 5 player in this class, maybe even a top 6 player or a top 7 player just because of what I think he can be defensively and the offensive tools he's shown, like with the on ball creation that we've seen. Now that's just like signs. That's just like he's really raw on the offensive side of the floor, but defensively he has all the tools in the world to be a switchable rim protecting big who's also very tenacious on the boards. Like those are things that I value with Quaitance, but we can also go with Yaxel Lindenberg, who's also really like high up in the draft. I'm going to go. Damn. I'm actually going to go Labyrinth Phelan. I'm going to go Labyrinth Phelan. I think on the defensive side of the floor, Labyrinth can be really good. I also think he could play next to Keontae George with all the on-ball stuff that he's been doing. And now you have a multitude of NBA-ready guys and young players, whether it's Keontae, LeBron, Ace Bailey. You still have Bryce Sensabaugh, who y'all give spot minutes to. You have a Lauri Markkanen. You have a Walker Kessler. And Utah might actually have a direction in the future. As for the Atlanta Hawks, I'm going Darius Acuff. I think Darius Acuff is the scorer and passer that Atlanta could use in the half court. The only issue with me is just he's really small. And it's like, yeah, I understand like he's putting up buckets to the level he is, and he's one of the best scorers in this draft class. But in the NBA, that height is going to mean something. Like that height is going to be an issue on the defensive side of the floor. And yeah, Atlanta can have a couple of guys that can cover up for that, whether it's a Dyson Daniels, whether it's a Nickeil Alexander Walker. But I don't know. I don't know. That's the only reason why I don't have him ahead of a Mikal Brown or Kingston Fleming. Like Kingston Fleming, he's not the best on-ball defender, but he shows a sign to generate turnovers and things of that nature. Mikal Brown has immense positional size. Labyrinth Phelan, he wasn't as good defensively as he was in his freshman season, in my opinion, but he's still a positive defender in the collegiate level, and I see some signs for him being good there. As for the Dallas Mavericks, I'm going to actually go Keaton Wagler, who I'm not high on, or I'm high on, but I'm not extremely high on. Like I'm not top 5 high on. I think he's a really good decision maker. I think he's a really good shooter. I think he's a really good pick and roll creator. My problem is he just doesn't really create well against guys in his position. Like he doesn't create well against athleticism, and it's a lot of tough shot making. And this is reasons why I don't think he should be the primary ball handler for this club. But if you could play him at the 2 and he can be a combo guard and he can run point guard minutes, I can understand that. He's going to be playing in Dallas where there's a lot of size, there's a lot of screening ability, whether it's Cooper Flagg, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, PJ Washington. Don't know what's going to happen with Najee Marshall. Hopefully he becomes a Laker, but I think Keaton Wagler and Cooper Flagg can work really well. That's a lot of positional size there. He can set screens for Cooper Flagg, with Cooper Flagg being the downhill threat that he is, and then he can kick out passes to Keaton Wagler. I really like this pairing. As for the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm extremely interested to see where they could go with this. I'm gonna draft for them if they still had Giannis on the team. That's how I'm going to draft for them, because as of right now, Giannis is on the team. I will draft for them if Giannis leaves, or I will draft for them as if Giannis is gone when he's gone, because who really knows if Giannis is leaving. So I'm gonna go with Yaxel Lindenberg. I think he has really good positional size, whether it's the 3 or the 4. I think he's really what do I want to say here? I think he's really well taught on the defensive side of the floor. I think he has really good discipline on that side. He's really good at blocking shots. He's good at playing passing lanes. He has a really good wingspan to where he can disrupt actions. He's also really good as a passer and playmaker, like somebody that can be a connective passer. He's somebody that's really good in transition, that's going to fit right next to Giannis. Some of my issues is he gets a lot of wide open shots, or not even wide open shots, but he just doesn't show the trigger to shoot some of these threes. Like when I watch his game, you can tell, like, it's like, okay, you just got this off the catch 3 that you didn't take because you're not as confident in your 3-point shot. That's something I would like to see a little bit more. I would like to see him more of a 3-point trigger, but it is what it is. Yaxel Lindenberg's still a fantastic player. As for the not Detroit Pistons, what am I doing? As for the Portland Trailblazers, I'm going to take Kristen Ack here. That's just who I believe is going to. I'm actually higher on Kristen Ack to be a power forward. I don't think he's a full-time center, but offensively, I do think he has a lot of athleticism in transition. I think off the catch as a mid-range shooter, he's really good. I think he's a really good rebounder. The defense isn't there as of yet. Like he's shown signs of being able to guard on the perimeter, being able to rim protect, and being able to rebound. But again, he's really raw on that side of the floor. I think he could be a really good play finisher though, as a mid-range scorer and lob threat. So I like Chris Snack Jr. and where he is. As for the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think shooting should be their number one priority, and that's where I'm gonna go Nate Ament. Um, Not as high on Nate Ament. He's definitely gotten back up into my big board, or he's actually moved up my big board as of recently, but the problems are still there. The physicality is something that I question with Nate Ament, especially like boxing out and playing the boards or just trying to create with the ball in his hand. He generates a lot of turnovers with the ball in his hand as well. Like he can't really create with the ball in his hand. But if you can set up actions for him or be somebody that can set screens for SGA and pop out, kind of like what Jared McCain does, just having more shooting and size is always going to help for OKC. Now, I'm not always going to say that he's going to be this slim frame guy for the rest of his career, but he has that length that he can shoot over guys, and he has really good shooting touch. So I'm going to go with Nate Ament there. As for the Charlotte Hornets, I'm actually going to go Jaden Quaitons here. I think Jaden Quaitons fits exactly with what Charlotte likes to do. They run a lot of screens. They run up and down in transition. He's a really good play finisher. And then it's like you're going to be playing with all these shooters and all these guys that like to run up and down the floor. I think Quaitons can be a really good defensive piece for them. I think he'll be a really good play finisher for them, a really good rebounder, which is something that they do really well. And having a rotation, a center rotation, or maybe even in Quaitons' case, power forward, having a front court rotation of a Quaitons, Kalkbrenner, and Musa Diabate is like, that's fantastic. Like just having those three guys who play the boards well, protect the rim well, are extremely energetic, run up and down the floor, especially with Musa and Jaden Quaitons. I think that's a really good pick for them. And then for the San Antonio Spurs, not Koa Pete, Yaxel Lindenberg would have been perfect for them. I'm going to go Braylon Mullins just for some more three-point shooting on the perimeter. I think he's a really good off-ball player. He shows some signs as a playmaker as well and a solid defender. So I'm going to go Braylon Mullins there. It's very interesting to see what you can do with Golden State. I'm actually going to take Hans. With some size and some rebounding, I think Hans is really good for them. Outside of like Kristaps Porzingis, to where you don't know how much Kristaps is going to play, and I actually don't even know if they're going to re-sign Kristaps. So bringing in Hans as like a rebounding, floor spacing, somebody that can run in transition type of big, I actually like what Hans can do there. For the Miami Heat, I'm going to be taking Bennett Sturts. I'm high on Bennett Sturts. I'm really high on Bennett Sturts, actually. Like, one, there's value in being the best shooter in the draft class. I think Bennett Sturts is the best shooter in the draft class. If we take a look at some of his percentages, I think this is a senior. If I may, yeah, this is a senior. This season, he's giving you about 21 points per game, 4.5 assists. He's shooting 39% on 6 threes a game. Now, the numbers may not show that he's the best shooter in the draft, but if I look at when I watch him play, him being able to shoot off the dribble, him being able to shoot out of DHOs off the catch, extremely deep range, how fast he moves with the ball in his hand in transition, the passer that he is, I don't think he necessarily makes passing reads off of an advantage that he created. I think he's more of an accuracy passer, and I do like that for a Miami Heat system that play a lot of isolation and play with a really fast pace. I think Bennett could actually fit in that really well. He could be somebody that can set up actions for Khalil Ware or for a Bam Adebayo or for a Norman Powell or for a Tyler Hero. There's a lot of guys that Bennett Sturts can set up with his shooting and his accuracy on his passes. So I think Bennett Sturts is very underrated in this draft class. If we take a look at his true shooting, he's giving you a 64% true shooting on 20 points per game, while still taking 6 threes a game. Like, I think Bennett Sturts is extremely underrated in this draft process, and it's going to be very fun to watch him in his rookie season. As for the Memphis Grizzlies, they have another pick here. Koa Pete has fallen really low in this process for me. I'm not really going to speak too much on it. I'm going to go for Memphis. I'm actually going to go Thomas Helk. I'm not as high on him. He's a really good transition player. He has really good touch around the basket. He's shown some ability to make some wide open shots. If we take a look at his stats real quick, last time I looked at his stats, he was shooting about 34% from 3. If I do say so myself, let's take a look at the stats. He shooting basically 34% from three on about 5 attempts per game. So it's not terrible. I think he can fit in transition with John Morant and Caleb Wilson and all those guys really well. So I'm going to be taking him here. As for the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm going to take Cameron Carr because I think he's the best player on Baylor. I still like Tonde, and I'm still really high on what he could do, but I think Tonde is not as good as Cameron Carr is. Cameron Carr is one of the best shooters in this draft class. He's shown some defensive potential. They have him guard bigs a lot as well because Baylor is really small. He's shown some ability to pass. He's shown some on-ball creation, especially in the mid-range and in the pick and roll. It's so funny because now everybody's on Cameron Carr, and I was on him like, okay, pause. It was so funny because everybody's high on Cameron Carr when I was higher on him like to start the season. But I'm really high on Cameron Carr. I think he could be a really good role player in this league. And the Charlotte Hornets have another pick here, and this is exactly where I'm going to go. Tonde, who I think fits really well with what Charlotte runs a lot of guard to guard screens. I think Tonde Yesufu is somebody that does that really well. I think he'd be a good defender, whether it's playing passing lanes, having that physicality to guard, maybe some wings. He rolls to the basket really well. He's a really good cutter. That jump shot is extremely inconsistent, but I think he'll have some time to develop in Charlotte. As for the Toronto Raptors, I'm going to go Isaiah Evans here. Another guy who I think is slept on and somebody I've been singing the praises of all season. Isaiah Evans is extremely fast on the perimeter with or without the ball. He's one of the best shooters in this draft class, as I've said for a multitude of different prospects, but he has the ability to, like, if he sees one go in, you could have a really long night because it's hard to explain, but he's one of those shooters where it's like, okay, we don't want him to get one because he can go off for 6 or 7 of them. Like, and this year he's made a really conscious improvement on driving to the basket and finishing around the rim that I can't deny that. As for the Los Angeles Lakers, there's a lot of different guys I want to go here. By the way, shout out to Braden Burries. Completely forgot about him. Completely forgot about Braden Burries, but for the Lakers, where is he? As a matter of fact, where is he? This is exactly who I want the Lakers to draft. If he is available, Los Angeles, this is who I want you to draft. Where are you? Here he is. Amari Allen. I want the Lakers to draft Amari Allen. Amari Allen is fantastic. He's a really good shooter, really good off the catch shooter, can put the ball on the floor and create out of pick and roll. And he has the physicality, the positional size. He's like 6'7", like 200 something pounds. And he's active defensively. He fights through screens. He plays off ball. He plays passing lanes. He blows up actions. This is who I want. This is who I want, Los Angeles. Make it happen. As for the Denver Nuggets, yeah, I'm gonna do myself a favor and just get Braden Burries off the board because I completely forgot about him. He can be that creator off the bench. You know how Jonas, J-Val, and Jamal Murray try and recreate what him and with Jokic and Jamal Murray do. Braden Burries is gonna recreate what Jokic and Jamal Murray do with Jokic. It's that simple. As for the Atlanta Hawks, I'm gonna get them another big forward and Koa Pete and just get him off the board. I'm not as high on Koa Pete as I used to be. Like I was like praising like top 5 for Koa Pete when the season first started because he had those big games to start the year. But as of late, I mean, he's a really good, he has really good positional size. He plays inside the arc really well. He just doesn't shoot a lot of threes, and a lot of his game is just stuck inside the elbow. And I just don't think he's that good as a scorer, and I don't think he's that good as a defensive player. So I'm a little lower on Koa P, and I actually think Braden Burries has been better than him over the past few months. I know he's hurt right now, but I think Braden Burries has been better than him as of recently. So for the Detroit Pistons, I'm going to get them another ball handler, and I'm going to go with Christian Anderson. Christian Anderson, he's a really good change of pace guard that plays well in the pick and roll. He's a really good floor general. He's just really short and really slim. Me saying short as being like a 5'7" guy is funny as hell. But I think he can be a really good ball handler for the Pistons off the bench. As for the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm going to go with Marez Johnson Jr. I think he has a lot of positional size. I think he's extremely physical. I think he's really switchable on the defensive side of the floor. And I think Philly could use a guy like that, depending on how much Paul George is going to impact this team throughout the regular season next year and in the rest of this season, and in the postseason. So I'm going to go with Marez. I think he's pretty good. As for the New York Knicks, you can never have too much defense out there in New York, so I'm going to be going with Dalen Swain. He's improved a lot as a three-point shooter as his career has gone along, but I do think he's good enough defensively to where they're probably going to find a way for him to be in the rotation as soon as his rookie year, because I think he's that good defensively. This season, he's averaging 18 points per game. He's gotten much better as the three as it's gone along. 15% in his freshman season, then to 25%. Now he's taking three a game and shooting 33%. So he's also shooting 62% inside the arc. So I think Dalen Swain is going to be a very good defender for New York. He has size, and he can learn behind guys like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. I think he's going to be fantastic. As for the Boston Celtics, I'm going to go Pat Ngangba here. I think he's much better than a lot of people give him credit, but I also think he's going to be like a center that Boston could use in their center rotation. Don't know how long Vooch is going to be there. Don't know. I think Neemias Queta is going to be their starting center for the future, but I also think Pat Ngangba can bring some size and some play finishing ability there. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to go Joshua Jefferson. I think this guy can be a really good tweener between the small forward and power forward position. He's a really good short roll guy. He has really good touch around the basket. He makes really good passes to kick out guys. I think him in his two-man game with Donovan Mitchell or James Harden can be impactful as well. So I think this is a good pickup. Especially if they want to send Jared Allen to the Lakers. As for the Dallas Mavericks with the 29th pick, who do I want to go here? Do you want to go? Because they have Keaton Wagler with the 29th pick. I'm actually going to go Kareem Lopez. I think he's the guy here for the Dallas Mavericks. Positional size, extreme athleticism, on ball creation. He's not the best at it, but he's still pretty damn good. And I think there's a lot of potential there. And last but not least, I'm going to be taking Ade Mara for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ade Mara is much better than what I gave him credit for, or what his position in this draft class gives credit for. But there's just a lot of talented guys in this draft class, and guys are gonna fall. If you guys didn't notice, Braden Berry's completely left my mind. Like, he would have been gone much earlier had I remember that Braden Burris was still in the class. So that's on me. But I think 8A as a rebounder, as a passer, I think he's extremely underrated. As a finisher around the rim and a rim protector, he's really good. So I think he's gonna develop in Minnesota pretty nicely. But let's read this entire mock draft off real fast. As for the number 1 pick, the Indiana Pacers take Darren Peterson. And then with the 2 pick, the Wizards are going to take AJ DeBonsta. The Bulls take Cameron Boozer with the 3rd pick. And with the 4th pick, the Memphis Grizzlies take Caleb Wilson. You have the Kings taking Kingston Fleming, which actually fits. I didn't even notice that. With the 6th pick, you see the Nets taking Mikal Brown. We have the Jazz taking Labyrinth Phelan. We have the Hawks taking Darius Acuff. The Mavs taking Keaton Wagler. And Yaxel going at 10 to the Milwaukee Bucks, with Chris Sinat going to the Portland Trail Blazers, Nate Ament going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jaden Quayton's going to the Charlotte Hornets, Braylon Mullins going to the San Antonio Spurs, Hans Steinbach going to the Golden State Warriors, Bennett Sturts going to the Miami Heat. We have Thomas Houck going to the Memphis Grizzlies, Cameron Carr going 18 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we have Tonde going to the Charlotte Hornets at number 19, and we have Isaiah Evans going to the Raptors at 20. We have Amari Allen going 21 to the Lakers. Lakers, please make it happen. Please make it happen. We have Braden Burries going 22 to the Nuggets. Okay, I'm still on the fact that I forgot about Braden Burries. He probably would have went to the Warriors right here at 15. He probably would have went there. But what are you gonna do? With the 23rd pick, the Atlanta Hawks take Koa Pete. The Pistons take Christian Anderson. The 76ers take Marez Johnson Jr. The Knicks take Dalen Swain. The 76ers. The Celtics take Pat Ngangba. The Cavs take Joshua Jefferson. The Mavs take Kareem Lopez. And the Minnesota Timberwolves take Ade Mara. There's still a lot of talent that didn't get taken in the first round, whether it's Dame Sarr, Tyler Tanner, but we have to account that some of these guys probably aren't coming out this year. There are some guys that probably just aren't coming out this year. Like I'm looking at this and I'm saying, like, I see a lot of guys that I still see coming out this year. You never know. Quaitons might still do one more year in college. Braylon Mullins still might do one more year in college, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. But if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at @thebuzzersports_. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at @thebuzzerent. And make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at ATBSports1. And with all that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.